All right, y'all, we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business today. We're going to be seeing for these two Google searches, does it have BSS for each Google search, yes or no? So we're back in the GBC universe, where we're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, where we focus on full spectrum intent capture. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our, FSIC down there in white, high intent peeps on the left, low intent peeps on the right. And if a boudoir photography business is rising, most likely they're pulling in peeps from this entire intent spectrum. But if we got a boudoir photography business that's falling, we're missing some chunks of people somewhere. And way over on the left, the highest intent peeps, that's Google search, social search. Now people searching for boudoir photo shoot in their city, like right now. That's where we focus on talking about BSS, which is what we do here. And way over on the right, that's the lowest intent people. They ain't searching for boudoir right now. They most likely don't even know what the heck it is. So that's our sister brand. We're talking about BLCS, and right now we're only with that brand. We're only working with boudoir photographers currently running more than 10 grand per month in boudoir Facebook ads. All right, so BSS boudoir search sameness. That's when a boudoir photographer has 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google, and 0 slots is, that's a fast death of a business because we know that approximately 80% of Google searches never hit page 2. So we're invisible to literally 4 out of every 5 people from on page 2. Our business is going downhill fast. We care about being visible to the approximately 80% of searches that are page 1 only searches because they're the bulk of the market. Now, 1 slot on page 1 of Google is no bueno as well because basically, every other boudoir photographer on page 1 is going to have 1 slot as well, at minimum. And so and there's 10 organic slots on page 1 of Google. And as a result, we're actually going to, we'll look the same as everyone else. When we look the same as everyone else, we will, buyers are just going to click. 80% of buyers anyway are going to, that's our page 1 search only. They're going to click, and every single link on page 1, open everyone's website, fill out everyone's contact form, price shop everyone, get the best, offer rate for themselves. And, it's kind of just death by 1,000 cuts there. So we do not want to have BSS. And it's also because 0 or 1 slots on page 1 Google is actually not normal. It's actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. Those 2 deeper root causes are market saturation, which most people know about. That's, seems like every week someone gets a new iPhone, they turn out to Google My Business profile, and their website's an issue boudoir. So it's kind of, making it harder to rank on page 1 of Google. And, or someone gets a new camera, then they start posting in the mom Facebook groups that they now shoot boudoir. So it's more sellers for the same number of buyers, makes it harder for each seller to get buyers. And this happened, kind of big way with COVID. A lot of people lost their jobs, but couldn't earn money, but they still needed to earn money. So guess what? Everyone's already got a smartphone with an awesome camera, triple cameras on it. So it's really easy for people to turn and become boudoir photographers. Increase in supply, but demands remain the same. So that's market saturation. Now, the new one that most people have never even heard of is the false belief of page 1 equality. So a lot of boudoir photographers actually believe, okay, every boudoir photographer gets 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google just kind of naturally. That's simply how it happens. And, maybe we were on page 1, but new boudoir photographer came in, ranked the website above ours, we got pushed off. And as a result, we kind of just, that's simply how it is. I guess, we'll have to wait, hope they delete their website and Google stops indexing them for us to hopefully get back on page 1. And hopefully Google doesn't pull in somebody else to page 1 ahead of us. But this is actually a false belief. And I know it's a false belief because I know that Google will give as many page 1 slots to peeps as they want. And, as they're willing to put in the effort to acquire those, kind of those slots. So I know this because I actually went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google in only 10 days using this new methodology I developed. So false belief of page 1 equality. Basically, we got to kind of break through this mental barrier, break through this, kind of this false belief, so we can even look around and see if there are solutions available that can solve it. Because people kind of naturally accepted this thing could not be solved. Now, Boudoir Photographer BSS is a disappearing Boudoir Photographer, DBP. Yeah, because we got 0 slots on page 1 and we're on page 2 or deeper. Yeah, basically, approximately 80% of searchers have never seen us. We're definitely disappearing Boudoir Photographer, which matters because that is the first signal, the first kind of flashing emergency signal, emergency light that says, that basically says the boudoir photography business as a whole is eventually going to be disappearing. And same thing with 1 slot on page 1 of Google. I mean, we're still basically invisible. We're looking the same as everyone else. We're being price shopped to death. Just a real waste of time. So, it's the start of our universe here on the left. A disappearing boudoir photographer with BSS is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and page 1 equality, or the false belief of page 1 equality, which causes people to not act and go out there and take as many page 1 slots in Google as they want, because Google will give them. Now, luckily, we do have the solution. I created it. We know that BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S-cubed methodology. And it works exactly as it says. We saturate social search with the highest intent buyer keywords. And when we do that, it's kind of like the backside of the Andes Mountains down in South America, or kind of the small streams, the small rivers. That's saturating social search, and those eventually all flow together down to the big Amazon River. And that is that's Google page 1. So it's kind of everything flows Google page 1, but it starts with saturating social search. Now, this is the exact strategy I use to go from, again, 0 out of 10 slots page 1 to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 in 10 days. Show those results here in a little bit. And this is actually the only strategy I've seen for boudoir photographers that enables a boudoir photography business to actually successfully fight back against market saturation, and then to actually still continue to grow the business in the face of market saturation in a relatively quick time frame. Technically, the only other thing that can successfully do that is brand, having a massive, large, well-known brand. But dude, that takes 5 to 10 years. We ain't got 5 to 10 years. AI is here taking people's, going to start taking people's jobs. Actually, I believe it already has, and it's going to be taking more and more and more people's jobs. So the reason that I see that this is the only strategy that can do this in a relatively quick time frame is imagine we're in Nashville, Tennessee, and we're one boudoir photographer there, but there's a million total competing in the marketplace. Everyone's got their website, so we're all trying to rank up on Google page 1. But we say, okay, SQ methodology is the only thing that can actually help me compete ASAP, faster than anything else, without spending ads, without having to build a brand. Then what we do is we actually crank SQ methodology up to the max. So this is like what we would do in this scenario, crank it up to the max, or this hypothetical scenario. And let's say we get for 300 page 1 slots on Google, or across all the social networks for the highest intent keywords. And after we do that, we also, those flow onto Google, and let's say we get the first 300 slots in Google as well. That's like literally the first 30 pages. And as a result of that, anytime any buyer in our city is looking anywhere for us, or not for us, but for boudoir photo shoot, whatever those highest intent keywords are, anywhere, searching on social networks, all the largest ones, or searching on Google itself, they literally only see us for the first 30 pages. And if approximately 80% of searches never even hit page 2, then basically ain't nobody hitting page 31, which is where basically our competitors start. So obviously, if they can really only find us when they're searching, whose business will continue to grow? Ours. Whose business will, will continue to decrease? Well, that's the other 999,999 boudoir photography businesses competing against us in the same city market, because we, turned SQ methodology up to the max and did way faster than creating a brand, way faster. And also, I believe it'll, help create a brand, I don't know, estimate 8x faster, just because of how many surfaces we'll actually be on. Now, once you're with the SQ methodology, we have page 1 visibility, P1V. And, this next initial benefit, first one is, getting the slots page 1 on Google. And then the second one is every new page 1 slot we get on Google, we are kicking competing boudoir photographers off page 1, effectively making them invisible. Now, this is super awesome because now we know if we're kicking our competitor off page 1 of Google, their page 2 or deeper, approximately 80% of peeps Ain't never gonna find them because we know approximately 80% of Google searches are page one only searches. They never even hit page two. And if someone instead uses a strategy to do it to us, then we're the ones being made invisible. Now, page one visibility activates Boudoir search visibility for us. And Boudoir search visibility, this is our GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page one on Google. Because if everyone else got one slot and we got 3, well, buyers may not even click on anyone else. They may even only click on ours because like, man, why does Google recommend these people, this person 3 times? There must be some reason. They must be good. And we actually dominate everyone else on the page. And there's always like a very, very tiny chance someone could have 2 slots page one on Google as well. That's rare though, especially in the cities with city searches because there's so much competition for keywords. And so as a result, even if the super rare chance someone has, two slots, there are 3 slots still dominate them as well. And a boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer, a VBP. So we got a disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness, which is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and page one methodology, or the false belief of page one equality. Then now we have the solution, SQ methodology. We achieve page one visibility, become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. All right, so now my results. This is the keyword I want to rank for, BLCS Boudoir. It's for our sister brand. And I exclusively used SQ methodology to do exactly this. And what I did, well, let's see the results. This after 10 days. So we got slot 1, organic, Instagram, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. And slot 10, me. So dude, 9 out of 10 slots Google page 1 in 10 days. This is my results I got using this methodology. So now we're back to the meat. I see this boudoir photography business. If these 2 Google searches, see if this business has BSS, yes or no for the local search and the city search. All right, there we go. So we're going to organic. Let's see. All right, here we go. Yep, that's 1. We got 1. So this is the local search, Brentwood, Tennessee. All right, so we got 1. We got, let's see. Now, we only got 1. We got 1 out of 10 organic slots page 1 on Google. So all right, we definitely have BSS for the local search. Now let's check our city search. Same thing. So now we're looking at Nashville, Tennessee. All right. Man, was that 10? 1, 2. I guess the discussion took up a huge chunk. Dang. Dude, we're at 0 out of 10 on Nashville. So we got boudoir search sameness for both. Or this boudoir photography business has boudoir search sameness for both Google searches. But now we got something that can fix that, SQ'd methodology. So if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer, meaning you've actually done your local searches, done your city searches for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords in your city, and you're seeing you had either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 Google search for any of those searches, or you're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum 3 out of 10 slots for any of those searches, and you've accepted the fact that the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief, and you actually see an S-cubed methodology is the only way forward, and you've actually been waiting for something like this. You're loving the initial benefits, more slots page 1 on Google. You're especially loving kicking competitors off page 1 on Google, reducing them, page 2 or deeper, where we already know approximately 80% of Google searches never even reach page 2. So make them visible to essentially approximately 80% of the marketplace. And you're looking ahead and you're saying, man, AI is taking a lot of people's jobs right now. It's going to take even more and more people's jobs in the future. Last time that happened, COVID, ton of boudoir photographers entered the marketplace because everyone's got a super powered smartphone, got an awesome camera, and everyone still needs to earn money. So guess what? You already are anticipating a massive market saturation already more than, kind of standard people upgrading their gear. So way more on top of that. And you realize, man, you actually got to fortify your position on page one Google search. You need to have actually so many links that Google could rank page one in Google search that it runs out of slots. And then you start filling up page 2, 3, 4. Basically fortify your position so much that no current boudoir photographer can ever rank on page one again, nor could any future boudoir photographer that comes in because AI took their job ever has the chance to rank again. And so you're saying, man, how to get all those links kind of circulating. And you're saying again, S-cubed methodology is the only methodology that enables that. You're also liking that, kind of the way this technology works is we're building up these invisible thematic keyword columns around our brand, basically plug into our brand for the different keywords we're um, utilizing and ranking for, that every day we successfully execute S-cubed methodology, we're actually increasing the probability to be shown up here way at the top, AI overview. The most premium placement is an organic placement. We can now buy this, cannot pay for this with ads. So increase the probability of being here every day, the most premium placement on the page. There's some people that will just come here, click, and buy from this person. We're also increasing the probability every single day that AI, search apps recommend us as well. ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot. Every day we successfully execute SQ methodology, we're increasing probably these guys recommend us for their, basically in their search. And last time I searched for boudoir photographer in a city, I actually ChatGPT. I did with ChatGPT. It recommended me 3 peeps. And then went in and looked manually, Google search, manual Facebook search. And dude, there's like 60 boudoir photographers in the city. So I'm like, man, we got to find a way to get one of these 3, AI recommended slots in the AI search apps ASAP. And you're saying SQ methodology is the only solution that can give you that benefit as well. And you're seeing that the kind of showing up on all these surfaces over time, social search, Google search, and these invisible thematic keywords attached to us. We're actually building our brand at an estimated 8x rate, kind of fast tracking us getting a large, well-known brand in our city, so that market saturation affects us way less. You also understand my current plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city, so you can actually get all these benefits, build all this AI mindshare momentum in the back end keywords, these invisible thematic keyword columns attached to your brand, kind of your social handles, your name, your website name, and prevent your competitors from participating, getting any of these benefits at all. So build up basically like a massive gap that approximately no competitor currently or in the future will ever be able to overcome. So you decide to be a first mover advantage and hop on this first because you understand the converse, which is one of your boudoir photographer competitors in your city signing on with me first. They get all these benefits, more slots page one on Google, kicking people like you off page one of Google off to page 2, 3, 4, or even deeper, fortifying their position. So basically none of their competitors, including you, basically ever have a chance to rank page one on Google. Building up such a massive backend AI keyword mindshare so that the no competitors, including you, basically have ever a chance to catch up with them, being recommended for AI overview and recommended in AI search, and building up their brand so much faster, approximately 8x faster than any other strategy. And you're realizing to compete in that scenario, you would actually have to rederive SQ methodology for yourself on your own. You would never actually be 100% confident you successfully derived it. And then you'd have to go and successfully equal our daily execution of that methodology. And if you did all that, you would simply be maintaining the current gap me and your competitor have already achieved ahead of you. So to make inroads, kind of make some distance on that gap, close that gap, you'd actually have to double or triple our output every single day. And then if you did that, you actually wouldn't even be confident to put in that much time because again, you would never be 100% confident you've derived the methodology correctly in the first place. And then even if you did, who's got 80 hours to do all that? So you realize on all that, and you're like, screw that. You decide to be the first mover, sign on first, get this out of the way, make sure you don't miss out on this opportunity. So if that's you, shoot me a DM. The hospital is currently closed for new patients. But when the hospital does open for new patients, shoot us a DM and we will see if you qualify for utilizing our S cubed methodology.